How y'all doing? Fat Guy Flies RC. This is going to be just a kind of a shorter, well, short for me, little video. We're going to talk about two subjects. We're going to talk about how to do a range test with your Spectrum DX9, or most all the computerized Spectrum radios. They have pretty much behave the same way. Whether it's the new NX series or the DX series or some of the older ones. If you've got a screen down here, same basic idea. So let's go ahead and show you how to do a range test, and then we'll talk about why, and then we'll talk about how far you should be flying away with your plane. So let me just go ahead and show you how to do a range test. Now, I'm working with a DX9 here. Okay, so let me make sure the screen is centered. And I've got a model called the PA-18, which is a wonderful bush plane. All right, so you're on your main screen. You're going to go to your function list. You're going to go down to range test. This is on a DX9, but it'd be the same on a DX6 or some of the NXs. You'll see range test, and you go into that. And that test distance is 30 meters, okay? So you're going to make sure your plane is about 30 meters or 90 feet away, roughly at the end of your runway, okay? And then you're going to see this bind plug or the bind switch. You're going to press that, okay? That reduces the power, and what that does, it simulates signal loss or being at the max end. Okay, and then all you're going to do is once you hit that, while you're holding that down, you're going to move your sticks and you're going to look for movement. You're going to, make sure your throttle, you see your prop come on for a second. Try to look for your ailerons, elevators while you're holding that bind button down. That's what performs the range test for you. Simulates power lost or the reduced power or the maximum range for your receiver versus your transmitter at this point in time. If you were to call Horizon Hobby or really any of the big radio makers, they're not going to give you a, hey, your range for your receiver is exactly so many feet. General rule of thumb is about 2,000 feet. Okay, now you think 2,000 feet, well, that's not very far. Well, think about a football field, okay? If you take a football field, it's 360 feet, okay, long. If you take 3 of those and stand them end on end, that's pretty high in the sky. That's not even 1,000 feet yet, okay? It's almost. Oh, actually, no, that'd be 1,080, wouldn't it? So that's just barely over 1,000 feet. So if you were to take, say, 6 football fields and put them end to end straight up, that's a long ways off. But folks, unless you're doing long range FPV, in that case you need to switch over to the 5.8 gigahertz system. Why would you want to fly that way? Fly that far away? Here's the second part of the video. Okay, do your range, back to the range test. Do your range test to make sure you've got a strong signal versus your receiver configuration and your model and your transmitter at this point in time, because there's all kinds of variable factors. Weather, did you put your antennas at 90 degrees? Maybe the last time you flew this model, you forgot that the receiver was a little loose and you forgot to anchor it down. There's all kinds of reasons why you should do a range test. Now, if you're going to keep flying a model day after day after day, well, then maybe just once a week, every third or fourth time, check it. But if you haven't flown them all in a while, do a range test. If you think you may have a problem, do a range test. If you just think you should, do a range test. It doesn't, you're going to take a little bit of time to do your control surface check. Go ahead and, do a range test. Check your CG. Hey, there you go. So that's important. Now, how far should you fly? Well, if we say the maximum range is 2,000 feet, and we know that 3 football fields is just a hair over 1,000 feet, and we're to take those football fields, extend them, that's a long ways off. The general rule of thumb is if you can't tell what your plane is doing, or you can't tell the color anymore of that plane, or which way is up, it just looks like a little black speck, you're too far away. Okay? It's that simple. I wouldn't go, I mean, do your range test, check your electronics, but I wouldn't be worried about how far out I can fly or getting out of range, because with these newer receivers and this newer generation stuff, you're not going to be able to see the model before you're out of range, generally. Okay? If you fly most of these average, standard park flyer type foamies and the smaller balls and stuff, you're not going to be able to tell what your plane is doing before you're out of range. So to quit worrying about the range of your receiver and concentrate more on being able to tell what your plane is doing. If you can't tell when it's flying level, if you can't tell if it's up, if it's upside down or banking right or banking left, or up, down, whatever, you're too far away. If I can still look at a plane and I can tell what it's doing, I'm okay. If I can't tell you more what it's doing because it's so far away, I need to do my best to turn around and get back to me, because I'm too far away. And besides, if you can't tell what it's doing, what's the point of flying? You're not able to enjoy yourself, okay? So concentrate on being able to keep that plane close enough to where you can visually enjoy what it's doing. If you can't visually tell what it's doing, you're too far away. Put that in your pipe and smoke that one, okay? Keep that is a better way of thinking about it. Quit worrying about how far out you can go, but how far out you can visually enjoy flying that plane. That's where you should be looking at your range. Now, some of these great big models, the great big giant balls and stuff, now they may have to put in range extenders and antennas and stuff because they do need to be further out for safety. And make bigger, wider turns, but that's an entirely different area of RC. But for the average park flyers and foamies, just fly to where you can still tell what it's doing, okay? And that's pretty much my safety tip for range and understanding range for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos. I'm here for y'all. You had questions, please put them in the comments section of the video. And hit me up with a like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, because then that tells me that you want me to do more of these videos. If you give me a like, you give me a subscribe, you're saying, hey, you know what? I appreciate the time you took to give me this video. So, and this is why I do it. Because if I can learn something, I can pass it on to you, then we all win. Okay? We all win. We all enrich this incredible hobby. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all. Now let me walk around and turn the camera off.